Hey guys, so I haven't RC'd in like a week because the new job, which is great to have a job. It's also tough for a guy who's been living on the couch for 377 days to go out and do a physical labor job all day. So when I come home, I'm like sometimes in bed by 6. Actually, I sometimes haven't been home until 6:30, and then shower, hang out with mom for a couple of minutes, and then go to bed because I'm tired. But I haven't received much. So, but tomorrow night, today's Sunday morning. It's also crap weather right now because we're kind of in the spring weather now here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So I figured all I'm going to do today is a little bit of maintenance on a couple of trucks and try and get ready for possible upcoming trail runs, because I believe Brad Craig there, 403RC from Instagram, he's going to want to get out. He would mention or texted me yesterday that he saw I was working on Instagram and said, hey, congratulations, we should RC again soon. And yes, we should. So I think there's going to be a trail run tomorrow night. So if you're watching this on Sunday, probably going to be a run Monday night. And now that it's winter's pretty much gone, well, the ice and snow is gone, right? We hit Beaver Trail more often because that's where you're going to get more mud and hill climbs and water crossings and whatnot. Whereas River Trail East, which is a staple in my driving repertoire, if you will. I gotta figure out how to get that off better before I start working on this thing. My lights weren't working on the last trail. I see why now. So I gotta get that fixed. That's no problem. Yeah, I had to. Talking to myself. Who knows how much of this I'll be cutting out. So we'll get rid of the body for now. Fix those wires later. That's a minor fix. My wad of butyl gasket. Let me get this thing off here first. Yeah, so I'm just going to do a little bit of rebuilding. I'll probably repeat a lot because I never know what I'm going to keep in and what I'm going to edit out. So I sometimes repeat a lot of stuff because I'm like, I don't know if I'll use that section. I better say that stuff I was saying again. Things like that. But yeah, strong possibility of a run tomorrow night. Actually, we might as well just call it, let's say, Monday night, Beaver Flats, 7 p.m. Probably going to run a hard body, but run what you want, right? It's not a competition or anything like that. But I think in Alberta right now, because we're doing so poorly as a group, I think, the battery. Doing poorly as a group, I think the news was saying, this is in my opinion, I'm just going by what's on the news, but Alberta is the worst in North America, I believe they were saying. That's not good. Yeah, those motor plugs are barely in there. So the thing was twitching in that last video. I don't know if you guys caught it. I didn't want to say it because people, if you tell them something that they didn't notice before and all of a sudden now it's there, now it's going to annoy them too. So I try not to do that to people. Yeah, that is not smooth. I have most of the tools out and ready, so this shouldn't be too big of an ordeal. You may notice that the front end is leaf sprung and the rear is linked. The reason for that is I was busting leaf springs too often. They weren't cheap to replace, but then I got some leaf springs from Rookie. That's what's on the front. Those aren't Tamiya, or no, they are Tamiya springs. Out of a Hilux, I do believe, because the mill is, this is a Trailfinder 2 short wheelbase, right? So it's slightly different than other trucks. Drive shaft don't want to come off. Side cutters, usually get it. Oh, that's on there. That was on there good. A lot of crap impacted on that guy. Yeah, and I wonder. The guys were saying, someone said there on a recent video, you talk too much, just get to the upgrades. Well, too bad. Oh, these shafts are actually in pretty rough shape. how well that's going to focus for you guys, but there's a fair amount of slop in those drive shafts. I might have to look into getting some new ones soon. That's too bad. Okay, give me a moment here. I gotta do some boring stuff and I'm running out of things to talk about, so hold on. Okay, got all the screws out of the rear diff. Oh, that's hot. Jesus. Oh, too hot. I forgot about E-clips, and I'm really happy that bearing actually feels really good. It's just the diff feels real dry. God, my mouth hurts now. I'm going to cry. Oh, why aren't you coming off? Did I get all the screws? I did. That's not a good sign. Come on. Come on. There. Jeez. Well, it's not rusty. Those bearings are crap, though. Oh, no, they're still good. It's just that they're super dry. Yeah, none of that sounds great, eh? So it's still solid in there. There's like no movement. So it's just everything is dried up. Dirty. Filthy. So I get out the marine grease. Oh, it's already here. Good. Dog hair. Because of how much work it is to get this thing on and off, or not so much the on and off, it's the E-clip that's the difficult part. But yeah, it's the, if I'm gonna go through and disassemble the entire truck piece by piece, I might as well do it right. Right? Any job worth doing. Speaking of work, I don't know if I'm supposed to be mentioning the name online, so I guess I won't. But I'm mainly doing duct cleaning services right now. I've been a part of a couple of hot water changeouts, some quoting a little bit, some diagnostic, and explaining to homeowners actually about stuff, getting to talk HVAC. I've actually had to sit there and take a breath while I'm talking to them. The owner's like, "You okay? You need to sit down." I'm like, "No, I like it when people actually want to learn about HVAC because I'm an HVAC nerd." I hate E-clips so much. I don't have the E-clip tool. I know Medic's got one, and I told him I was going to steal it off him. I should have. Bastard could get another one. Oh, speaking of Medic, I get asked all the time, when's he coming? Well, I used to get asked, when's he coming back? Is he just taking a break? But I think people now realize that, oh shit, he's actually done. Yeah, he's really done. And I don't have Facebook, so if you guys are on his Facebook, you probably know more than I do. Because I only heard the other day that far away from here, I think he said, or across Canada or something. That's what other people have been telling me. I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything. I told him my guess. And my guess is that if I were him, I would want to move closer to my family. And I believe his family's either near or on Vancouver Island. So that's not a bad place to be. Sorry, just trying to focus on making sure I get grease everywhere I want it to be. So I'm not removing that bearing because it doesn't want to move and I don't want it to explode, but it's still solid. Like it has no wiggle to it at all. So they have stood up really well. Mainly because I do use a good grease, and every time I buy a new vehicle, and this was a new purchase, I think Rookie actually helped me assemble this one back in the day. And more grease. This kind of stuff I think is huge, just huge, huge, huge when you get a vehicle. Rip it all apart, marine grease everything, Loctite everything, and then go out and drive it properly geared and drive the truck how it was meant to be driven. Like if you're a basher, you're a basher, but buy a vehicle that can handle a bash. Just gotta pop the tires and get at those bearings and give them a coating. Oh yeah, I put that E-clip on. Don't go flying, please don't go flying. And I know there's all kinds of guys who have techniques on how to do this. I appreciate the tips. I think it's my lack of patience more than anything else. These E-clips are a decent size. They're a little bit bigger than the ones that normally upset me. I forget where those are. I might run into them here in a bit because I'm going to pull that transmission apart. Success! You know what? That wasn't bad. Maybe I'm getting better at this shit. Where was I going? Sidetracked. Again, shocking, I know. But, yeah, really, where was I going? Ah, well, it'll come back to me. That was a little better. Okay, so, the rear's been done. Some of you may say that should spin a lot longer. I use a fair amount of marine grease. If I oiled, because some guys just oil their trucks, I guess I can't really argue against it. If you don't go in the water, fine. But I think if you're going to get your truck wet, like I enjoy doing, that's something that you're going to have to marine grease. So now we're off to the transfer case. Actually, I don't know if this is going to come out. That screw was farther. That's the top screw. Just talking to myself while I try and remember what screw goes where when I go to put it back together. No. One 5 feels stripped. That's so not good. The 1/16 that's fairly worn out. That'll get that out. And then that goes into the garbage. That one's still good, so it should be, might be time for a new 1/5 or a grinded. Might be time for a grinded. Because after the tip gets worn out, the end of it goes first, right? Usually because there's sand in the screw or you don't have it all the way set in and you'll strip it, because that's probably what I did on the assembly of this thing and forgot about it because it was years ago. But for how many years it's been and how much trail runs this thing's been on, because look at these axles. Like, those are worn. That's some decent wear, because I could grab of my other two Trail Finder 2s there. The D110 I've only had for a short time, but the Hilux I've had for a while. It's the same chassis that ran the F350 body on it. Oh, these are full of rust. I have to clean both drive shafts. The front isn't as sloppy as the rear. But typically, like I do, I'm going to run them till they're no good no more. Oh, yeah, the front doesn't even want to turn in some places. But we're after the transfer case right now. We're going to get, yeah, transfer case halfway out anyways. Release the coupler. I think I have to loosen the battery tray, if I remember correctly, to get this off, because it's tightly fit under there. Come on, out of there. There. Little bit of bending. Bendings are seen? I don't know. Alright. Let's see how nasty this little guy's gonna be. So, the little screw head looks nice. Coupler. It's loud, but everything feels nice and tight. It's just loud, which means it's dry. That's not the right driver. Actually, on disassembly, I am perfectly alright with the drill. In second speed. I usually don't hit the throttle. You may have noticed that they're just there. I'll use it like a driver first just to crack it. Again, it's all about not stripping the screw head. You know what else is coming? I'm going to have to try it again here soon because I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I do want to get some boating in. I know Crazy Joe does enjoy the boating. Land and water. Some of you know what that joke means, but it might happen again here this year. Who knows? Yeah, no bearings are exploded. Everything looks decent. So she's just going to get repacked. That's what she said. Get the underside. Getting a little crazy on the grease, but that's okay. You can overdo it. I believe I've mentioned that one before. It's possible to over grease. So I kind of know, I kind of know my limits, or most of my truck's limits. Figure out where to put certain amounts. Good and thick. Marine grease. So this video isn't overly entertaining. It's more or less just to show you a little bit of my techniques, I guess. And this stuff is important. As reckless as I am with some of my RCs, and the lack of attention and care I put into them, it would seem at some times, I do care about my bearings and my gears. So I do look after them. Diff gears on Gen 1 axials are the one that I probably let go too far. I will let those explode before I change them, just cause. I don't know why. Just seems to be that way. But this isn't too bad. Like, I'm gonna probably do, I think, 3 trucks today. I'm just talking to you guys during the Jeep. And then I'm probably going to rebuild the center diff on the 6x6, because even though the bearings are good, because I did a video on that not too long ago. Okay, I'm going to get the transfer case back in there, and then I'll get the transmission out, and then I'll probably turn this back on for a look-see. Yeah. This I found slightly interesting. There's only one screw holding the spur gear on. It's still fairly solid on there because the spring does most of the work, and when she's locked up, it's not really going to go anywhere. But I thought that was kind of curious. But other than that, the motor's still attached, so it's difficult to tell how smooth the transmission is. I can't remember if I have to take that spur gear off or not, actually, to get it disassembled. It's just a single speed. The only part of the vehicle where they use nice stainless screws are the transfer case and the transmission. The rest of them, I think I'm replacing about half of them. I gotta remember that guy. That one was shorter than the other two. That one's short as well. It's too short, it's too long. That's gonna be easy to cover. No problem. Oily. Doesn't seem greasy, but seems oily. Actually, it's pretty nice in there. You can actually still see grease from the original grease job, I do believe. It was GoPro, I gotta get in there tight. But you can actually see the color of it up there. So yeah, just another re-greasing. But that front axle, I gave her a spin there. I can't remember if the camera was on or off when I did. That front axle does not feel good. Not at all. Alright, I've seen worse, absolutely. God, I love that tool. Is that considered a tool? Probably. Remember, it's just aluminum, so you don't go too crazy. Gotta find me a couple of small screws to make sure that spur gear's in there properly, and off to the front axle. Okay, so the transmission's put back in. That went no problem. It might be because I forgot to put this in, so I'll probably pull the T-case out again to get that coupler on there. It's only 2 screws, not a big deal, but there's a screw up for you. But you should listen to this. Here's the steering. I'm just moving it a little bit. Pretty squeaky. And then like it even wants to stop in places. Like it's real stiff right there. That's the worst. Then it gets better. Good time. So now I'm going to rip apart the front. I'll show you what it looks like on the inside once I get in there. This is going to be a little more because I'm going to be doing checking the knuckle bearings as well. And the C-hubs are part of the axle on the RC four-wheel drive. I'm not a fan of that design, but everything else about the truck is pretty wonderful. If it's treated right, it lasts a long time. The reason why I don't like it is I have a couple of snap ones. I think one from this truck and then one from the other, the Hilux. Because what'll happen, one of two things will happen. One, if you don't set your endpoints properly on your servo, and you don't have CVs and you have dog bones or the cup and ball or whatever you want to call it, if you run the dog bone style in the cup and your steering goes too far, the pin will come out of that slot and it'll go outside of it. And as soon as it starts to rotate again and then snap the axle housing, it really sucks because it breaks off like the C-hub, in which again it's part of the axle. That really sucks. And the other way it can happen is if one of those screws actually falls out, and same situation will occur. The bone will pop out of the cup, get outside the cup, and then as the two of them rotate, they just push up against each other so hard that it pushes the knuckle out and it'll snap the top half, because it's usually the bottom screw that falls off, so or falls out. So the top half of the axle will actually snap off. So I got a whack of screws to take out, and I'll show you guys what it looks like on the inside as my furnace runs through a cycle. So far, interesting findings inside there. Just give me a quick second. I might have turned on the camera too soon. Oh, wrong hand. Because I'm smart. Smart like that. So the servo horn was about to fall out anyways. So just remove that the rest of the way. That off there. Oh yeah, like the steering is really tight. Like it doesn't want to move and it's squeaky. It's really in there hard. But so I took the diff cover off, and that like is probably the most beautiful set of bearings in the whole damn truck. That's awesome. This is still bad, but it's not in the center. Get over here. The center is still really greasy. Those bearings are even shiny. So I have next to no concern about them. I think they're okay. I think where the major problem is going to lie is apparently in these here knuckles. So let me get in there as quickly as I can. That's what he said. Filthy as usual. Not a surprise. Wrapped in grass. Wouldn't have it any other way. That's what my CVs look like. That's okay, but that bearing is toast. I hope I have some of those bearings. This is where most of the resistance, I'm sure, is coming from. Gotta remember about these little sleeves. And all that squeaking that's in the steering. I'm not sure if those things, if the link ends, rod ends, are supposed to be clean and dry, or should I oil them? Because that's definitely has resistance. It's not like you can change the tension of them. And as they wear, they should get softer, right? Oh yeah. Exploded bearings all over the place. Okay. Okay, this part's going to be not very interesting because this is where I have to go search through my parts drawers and see if I got these bearings, because I don't think I do because they're really tiny. Well, the two itty bitty ones are 5x8 by 2.5, which I don't have any of. I just looked. I even had an old axle, but I took the axle shafts out of it, so they don't even have the little bearings on there. The closest I have is a 4x8x3, which of course won't work. So yeah, I have to wait till probably next week, if not the week after that, before I can go out and buy bearings, because I'm still playing catch up. Here's your big baby. Yeah, Molly's here. Hold on a second. Ding! Round one. You big baby. There's your big baby. Ow! What? What? Hi! Duck! You big duck! You big ducky duck! I'll push you back. I'll get you. I'll get you. You're a baby. Yeah, you're a baby. Big baby. Oh yeah, in the new job I get to meet all kinds of dogs, but none of them are as cool as Molly. You baby. Come there. Alright. So I'll probably finish this truck off in a week or two. I could put everything in a baggie, throw it off to the side for now. Curse myself, because I didn't check my stock before I did this. I should have. Ah well. Still got other trucks, right? Alright, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.